Have you ever heard the lucid dreaming technique which tells you to repeat over and over again, "I will lucid dream tonight," in order to have lucid dreams tonight? Well, by the end of today's video, I'm going to teach you why this is a bit of a goofy technique which won't work, but how you can use it for lucid dreaming. And if you stick around till the end of the video, you're going to have a whole new way of looking at lucid dreaming, which will put you light years ahead of everyone else. You're going to stop making mistakes that holds people back from having regular lucid dreams. So let's get into the absolute basics. What is lucid dreaming? Lucid dreaming is being aware and logical within your dreams, knowing that you're dreaming while you're dreaming, and having critical thinking skills. So critical thinking skills require the activation of the prefrontal cortex. So any mantra technique, any rote repetition, doesn't activate the required areas of the brain for lucid dreaming. In fact, they activate the wrong areas of the brain for lucid dreaming, things that take you away from awareness. So repetition alone is mindless. It is the opposite of what is needed for lucid dreams. But hold up, why do some people have success with this technique if it's using the wrong part of the brain for lucid dreaming? Well, it's because they stumble into something that works. Because repetition can sometimes program prospective memory, remembering to do something in the future. So if you repeat something enough times and you do it with the right part of the brain, you can program yourself to be aware in the future. So it's not a completely stupid technique, but there is one thing about it which pushes you so far away from lucidity that it's making you make the most common lucid dreaming mistake. And the best way to understand this mistake is to see an example in a different area of life. Now imagine this. Imagine I wanted to go on a diet, and this is how I try to diet. Tomorrow, I'll diet. Tomorrow, I'm going to start my diet. That's what's going to happen. Tomorrow, I'm starting my diet. So what happens if my entire tactic for dieting is to repeat the mantra, "Tomorrow I will start my diet"? What happens tomorrow? Okay, well it's tomorrow, and now it's time to continue my diet strategy. Tomorrow I will start to diet. So there's a clear logical error here, because if you're saying tomorrow I will start my diet, tomorrow never comes. Now think about that phrase that people tell you to repeat for lucid dreaming. I will lucid dream tonight. What you're doing when you're repeating the phrase, "I will lucid dream tonight," is placing lucid dreaming in the future. And this is the most common lucid dreaming error. It is assuming that the practices you're doing right now are to prepare yourself for the future. But tonight never comes, because when you're in a non-lucid dream, you don't think it's tonight. You think you're awake, you think you're in the moment, and any practices you're doing preparing for tonight, you'll be doing in the dream preparing for tonight. In the same way that if I ask you to subscribe, like, share and comment at the end of the video, well, you may never get there, so do it right now. Lucid dreaming does not happen in the future. It does not happen tonight, because you are never aware that it is tonight in a non-lucid dream. You think it's the daytime. You think you're awake. If you knew that it was tonight, you would already be lucid. So saying, "I will lucid dream tonight," is basically assuming that you'd already be lucid enough to realize that you were dreaming, and therefore it's a complete paradox. Lucid dreaming only ever happens now. So what I mean by that is your lucid dream practice, whatever you're doing, whether it's reality checks or anything else, is not a preparation for some future event. What it is an assessment of the current moment. Is this a dream right now? That is the habit you need to build. You need to engage your prefrontal cortex, your logical and critical thinking skills, your observational skills, and your doubt about this moment, and genuinely question, is this a dream right now? If that becomes habitual, when you're dreaming and you think you're awake, you're going to do the same thing and genuinely question the reality you're in right then, only it will be a dream, and if you're doing your practices correctly, you'll realize it's a dream and become lucid. So if you want to use mantra and repetition for lucid dreaming, there is a correct way to do it. First things first, whatever it is you want to do in the future, you do it right now. And the most important thing you can do is a reality test. So questioning your reality and checking to see whether you're dreaming. And you do it with absolute seriousness, not preparing for the future, just simply checking whether you're dreaming right now. And then this is what you do. You are not repeating mindlessly. What you're doing is telling yourself to remember to do something in the near future. So in this example, the most important thing is to remember to keep checking your reality. So a good mantra would be, I will remember to question if I'm dreaming. And you can repeat that until you think that it's set in your mind and that it will remind you to do this again in the near future. And you'll know if it's working because 10 minutes later, half an hour later, an hour later, that thought will bubble up in your mind and you'll remember to perform a reality test. And you will, in that moment, perform a reality test with complete seriousness. That is what you're trying to achieve. Lucid dreaming is not a future event, it is an event which occurs in the current moment. You are just having to check whether this particular current moment is a dream or reality. Lucid dreaming is an act of mindfulness, not mindlessness. Mindless repetition won't get you anywhere. Mindful questioning of the now leads to lucidity. And if you want more lucid dreaming lessons, check out one of the videos on the screen right now.